Our today's top headlines. The Israeli military has revised its account of the killing of 15 paramedics and emergency workers in Gaza after video evidence contradicted its initial claims. The footage showed clearly marked ambulances and fire trucks with emergency lights on, refuting the military's earlier statement that the vehicles approached suspiciously without signals. The incident has sparked outrage and call for accountability, with investigations ongoing. Asian stock markets experienced their worst drop in decades as President Trump's sweeping tariff measures sparked panic among investors. Major indices such as Shanghai's Composite, Japan's Nikkei 225, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell sharply, casting doubts over a global economic recovery and heightening fears of an intensifying trade war. A 14-year-old Palestinian-American teen, identified as Omar Mohammed Rabia, was fatally shot by Israeli soldiers in the West Bank village of Tel Messiah near Ramallah during a counter-terrorism operation. Torrential rains unleashed severe flooding across Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, claiming over 30 lives and wreaking havoc on infrastructure. Homes and key roadways were swept away, leaving residents, especially in impoverished neighborhoods, stranded and forced to seek makeshift escapes. Pope Francis surprised thousands in St. Peter's Square during a Jubilee Mass, marking his first public appearance since recovering from pneumonia. The dire wolf, extinct for over 10,000 years, has been resurrected through innovative genetic engineering. Scientists used ancient DNA to recreate the genome, producing 3 dire wolf pups through surrogate domestic dogs. A Minecraft movie shattered box office expectations by grossing a record-breaking $157 million domestically in its opening weekend, marking the biggest debut ever for a video game adaptation. Good morning. You're watching World Bulletin, bringing you the latest headlines from around the world. From global affairs to economic shifts, we've got you covered. Here's something interesting. Did you know sharks predate trees? They've been around for over 400 million years, while trees evolved around 350 million years ago. Now, let's get into today's top stories.
الله يستر يا رب، الله يستر. هاي السيارة يا رب يكون بخير، يا رب يكون بخير. هي مرمي 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 مرمي. بسرعة بسرعة. هات الشيء. لا اله الا الله واشهد ان محمد رسول الله. اشهد ان لا اله الا الله واشهد ان محمد رسول الله. اشهد ان لا اله الا الله واشهد ان محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Good morning. The Israeli military has revised its account of the killing of 15 paramedics and emergency workers in southern Gaza on March 23, following the emergence of video evidence that contradicts its initial claims. The incident occurred near Rafah, where emergency vehicles marked with the Palestinian Red Crescent Society's insignia and flashing lights were fired upon by Israeli soldiers. Initially, the military stated that the vehicles approached suspiciously without headlights or emergency signals and claimed that 9 militants from Hamas and Islamic Jihad were among those killed. However, video footage recovered from the phone of one of the deceased medics shows clearly marked ambulances and fire trucks with their lights on, contradicting the military's initial narrative. The footage captures the moments leading up to the attack, including intense gunfire and the voices of medics reciting prayers as they faced death. The bodies of the victims were later found buried in a shallow grave, raising the number of aid workers killed in Gaza to 408, according to the United Nations. In response to the video, the Israeli military acknowledged that the initial report from the field was mistaken and stated that investigators are examining operational information to understand the error. The incident has sparked outrage and calls for accountability, with Palestinian civil defense workers and international organizations condemning the attack. The investigation is ongoing, and further conclusions are expected to be presented to army commanders. Asian stock markets suffered unprecedented declines on Monday, marking the worst drop in decades after U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff measures hit key exporters. Major indices took a hefty blow, with Shanghai's composite index falling over 8%, Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropping more than 13%, and Japan's Nikkei 225 losing nearly 8%, as investors braced for a deeper global economic slowdown. The tariffs, including a baseline 10% levy on imports from several trading partners and additional duties as high as 46% on exports from nations like Vietnam and China, have rattled markets already on edge from prolonged trade tensions. Many Asian manufacturing hubs, heavily reliant on exports to the United States, now face the threat of dampened trade and inflationary pressures that could ripple across the global economy. Analysts described the market sell-off as one of the most severe in decades, with some likening the scene to a bloodbath reminiscent of past financial crises. Investor sentiment has turned sharply negative amid forecasts of higher recession risks, citing revised predictions from several financial institutions that now see a greater probability of a U.S. and global downturn. The market turmoil has not been confined to Asia. European stocks also tumbled early in trading, particularly in sectors such as finance and defense, underscoring the worldwide reverberations of Trump's tariff policy. Meanwhile, retaliatory measures are emerging, with major economies considering counter-tariffs, which only deepens uncertainty in an already volatile market environment. While President Trump defended the tariffs as necessary, stating that sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something, the chairman's remarks did little to allay fears. Investors continue to worry that sustained trade friction could derail economic recovery and destabilize global markets even further. As global policymakers closely monitor the unfolding situation, market participants remain cautious, anticipating that ongoing trade disputes could force a broader rethinking of international economic relations. The coming weeks are expected to test the resilience of export-dependent economies and may ultimately catalyze a significant realignment in global trade dynamics. A 14-year-old Palestinian-American boy, Omar Mohammed Rabia, was shot and killed by Israeli soldiers in the occupied West Bank village of Termasaya, northeast of Ramallah, on Sunday night. 2 other Palestinian-American boys, aged 14 and 15, were also injured in the incident, according to Palestinian officials. The Israeli military stated that the shooting occurred during a counter-terrorism operation, claiming the boys were throwing stones at vehicles on a highway, endangering civilian lives. A blurry video released by the military appears to show 3 figures, one of whom seems to hurl an object. However, Palestinian authorities condemned the act as an extrajudicial killing and accused Israeli forces of deliberately targeting children. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society reported that the injured boys were shot in the abdomen and thigh and were taken to a hospital in Ramallah for treatment. The incident has drawn sharp criticism from Palestinian officials and human rights organizations, who have called for accountability and an end to violence against children in the region. This tragic event adds to the growing toll of violence in the West Bank, where tensions have escalated amid ongoing military operations and clashes. The U.S. State Department has yet to comment on the killing of the Palestinian-American teen. Torrential rains and severe flooding have claimed at least 33 lives in Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, according to officials. The downpour, which began late Friday night, caused widespread destruction, with many homes in western Kinshasa swept away and half of the city's 26 districts severely affected. Residents in the hardest hit areas, including the outskirts and impoverished neighborhoods, have been forced to flee by wading, swimming, or using makeshift canoes. The flooding has left much of Kinshasa struggling with water shortages, as water treatment pumps were inundated. Key infrastructure has been paralyzed, with the city's busiest road to the international airport and the motorway to the main port of Matadi rendered impassable. The Njili River, a tributary of the Congo River, burst its banks, trapping many residents in one of the worst affected neighborhoods. Local residents have expressed anger at the authorities, accusing them of a slow response and insufficient aid. The Congolese president has previously warned that the climate crisis is exacerbating flooding in the region, which is prone to soil erosion and poor urban planning. Heavy rains are expected to continue in northern and northeastern parts of the country in the coming days, raising concerns about further devastation. Pope Francis made a surprise public appearance on Sunday, April 6, 2025, during a Jubilee Mass for the sick and healthcare workers in St. Peter's Square. This marked his first appearance since his discharge from the hospital 2 weeks ago after a life-threatening bout with pneumonia. rolled in a wheelchair and supported by nasal cannulas. The pontiff's gesture visibly underscored his ongoing recovery, while a warm greeting of Good Sunday to everyone resonated with a crowd that responded with heartfelt applause. During the service, which followed a series of solemn preparations at St. Peter's Basilica, including a sacrament of reconciliation and passage through the Holy Door, the Pope was unexpectedly pushed to the front of the altar. His brief but reassuring address not only underscored his personal battle with infirmity, but also mirrored the themes of resilience and hope central to the Jubilee Mass. In his homily, read by Archbishop Rino Fisichella, Pope Francis reflected on the struggles of living with illness and the strength found in mutual support. His message resonated deeply with both the sick and the healthcare workers in attendance, as he urged the faithful to embrace vulnerability as a means to foster unity and growth. Upon concluding the service with traditional blessings for doctors, nurses, and all healthcare workers, the Pope briefly greeted those who had helped organize the event before departing through the Holy Door. His unexpected appearance served as a powerful symbol of perseverance and was met with immediate expressions of joy from the pilgrims gathered in the square. This unanticipated moment of vulnerability and strength not only lifted the spirits of the faithful, but also highlighted the Church's commitment to caring for the suffering and marginalized. As Pope Francis continues his prescribed period of rest and therapy, his brief yet monumental return to public life stands as a beacon of hope amidst ongoing challenges. The dire wolf, a species extinct for over 10,000 years, has been brought back to life through groundbreaking genetic engineering by Colossal Biosciences, a Dallas-based biotech company. Using preserved DNA from ancient remains, scientists successfully deciphered the dire wolf genome and edited the genetic code of gray wolves to match it. 3 pups, Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi, were born via surrogate domestic dogs, marking the first successful de-extinction of the species. The dire wolves exhibit distinct traits, including their larger size, white coats, and powerful build, which differentiate them from modern gray wolves. Despite their wild lupine behavior, the pups are being closely monitored in a secure wildlife facility to ensure their safety and adaptation. Colossal Biosciences aims to use similar techniques to revive other extinct species, such as the woolly mammoth and the dodo, while also applying their methods to prevent endangered species from slipping into extinction. The company's work has sparked both excitement and ethical debates about the implications of de-extinction and its impact on ecosystems. This achievement not only showcases the potential of genetic engineering, but also raises questions about humanity's role in reversing extinction and reshaping biodiversity. The dire wolf's return serves as a symbol of scientific innovation and the possibilities of restoring lost species.
For entertainment news, a Minecraft movie shattered box office expectations over its opening weekend, grossing a record-breaking $157 million domestically, the highest debut for a film based on a video game. This explosive performance not only outpaced early projections of $70 to $80 million, but also surpassed a previous record of $146 million set by the Super Mario Bros. Movie, marking a significant milestone for video game adaptations in mainstream cinema. The PG-rated fantasy comedy, directed by Jared Hess and featuring an ensemble cast including Jack Black and Jason Momoa, draws inspiration from the globally beloved Minecraft video game. Despite receiving mixed critical reviews, the film's engaging blend of family-friendly humor and imaginative storytelling resonated widely with audiences, particularly families and younger viewers, driving unprecedented ticket sales. Produced on a budget of approximately $150 million before marketing expenses, a Minecraft movie has not only invigorated domestic revenue, but has also achieved an impressive global debut, with international earnings pushing its overall global total to an estimated $301 million. This robust performance offers a much-needed boost to the box office in 2025, especially amid an otherwise sluggish market for major releases. The unexpected success of the film underscores the renewed viability of video game adaptations as a lucrative film genre. Studios like Warner Brothers and Legendary Entertainment now have a critical win in their portfolio, potentially heralding a new era where blockbuster video game-inspired movies can captivate broad audiences despite mixed reviews from critics. Industry analysts have noted that a Minecraft movie's triumph demonstrates the power of established fan bases and the appeal of immersive, escapist cinema. By tapping into Minecraft's vast global following, boasting hundreds of millions of active users, the film not only recouped production costs rapidly but also sets a precedent, inviting further developments and even potential sequels in the video game adaptation space. As audiences continue to flood theaters and the film's momentum builds, a Minecraft movie has effectively recharged the theatrical market in 2025, affirming that even stories originating from pixelated, block-based world can yield monumental success on the big screen. The triumph sends a clear message. When a well-known video game collides with creative filmmaking, the result can redefine box office records and reshape the future of family entertainment. It's a tough one to process, isn't it? The killing of those paramedics in Gaza is just heartbreaking, and now with this video surfacing, it's even harder to ignore the gravity of what happened. The footage clearly contradicts the initial claims by the Israeli military, showing ambulances with emergency lights on, hardly the suspicious vehicles they described. It's not just about the facts, though, it's about the human cost. These were people trying to save lives, and they ended up losing their own. The outrage from Palestinian officials and humanitarian groups is completely understandable. This isn't just a tragic mistake, it's a violation of the basic protections that medical workers are supposed to have in conflict zones. The military walking back its account is a step, but it feels like there's a long way to go in terms of accountability. And honestly, this isn't just about one incident. It's part of a much bigger picture of escalating violence and the risks faced by civilians and aid workers in these areas. It's a stark reminder of how fragile life is in conflict zones and how critical it is to uphold international laws meant to protect the vulnerable. Heavy stuff, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. The military walking back its account is a step, but it feels like there's a long way to go in terms of accountability. And honestly, this isn't just about one incident. It's part of a much bigger picture of escalating violence and the risks faced by civilians and aid workers in these areas. It's a stark reminder of how fragile life is in conflict zones and how critical it is to uphold international laws meant to protect the vulnerable. Heavy stuff, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. That wraps up our coverage for today. For more updates, click the subscribe button. Thank you for watching World Bulletin by VNC Broadcast. I'm James Hayes.
And I'm Sophia Blair. And we'll see you next time with more headlines that matter. One world, one bulletin. We'll be back with more updates soon.